Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Annie Atwood joining us here today. Excited to have her here. She's one of our funnest guests. Not even a word, but she is. She's got great energy about her. She works with energy as a Reiki healer. The name of her company is Red Boots Reiki, and we're here today with her once again. Now, I have Annie Baker Atwood, but I also know it's Annie Atwood Ellsworth. You have a lot of names.
Yes, because I'm, that's my work.
Got it. I'm like,
yeah.
Do I call her Annie Baker? Do I call her Annie Atwood? All I know is you're awesome. She's from Red Boots Reiki. That's the website, redbootsreiki.com. And she's here talking about the energy that can help you and change you. So I'll have you do your introduction, please.
Okay. So I'm Annie Baker Atwood. I am the owner of Red Boots Reiki, and Reiki is energy. And I charge up your energetic cells, which are inside of you. I like to think of them as that little battery icon on your phone or your electronics, which when it gets, below a certain point, we all freak out like, oh my gosh, my phone's going to die. But somehow we never do that to ourselves. We just assume that we have an abundance of energetics that will pull us through, and you kind of want to charge them up so that you are at your sparkling best all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm trying my best, as we all do, right? And we want to sparkle, we want to shine, we want to feel good and positive. And little do we know that this amazing concept of energy, here, there, you're there, I'm here, like it connects, and you can help control and help. I don't want to use control, but you could push it in different areas, right?
Yes. And so when you book a session with me, I love it when you're in person because I'm just a smiley person and my house is really cozy and it's just a very relaxing experience. However, I can do Reiki sessions via Zoom and also Reiki sessions without you even needing to be on camera.
That's amazing.
I know. When I first heard about that, I said, remote Reiki, that's crazy. And then I got really, really good at it. And so I would transmit energy on my way to school, and I would have people text me, were you sending energy? It's, 7:20 in the morning. I'm like, yes, I was, because they can feel it.
Yeah. Well, how does it work? Like now that you're so in tune with everyone's energy, do you wake up and whether it's your friends, your family, clients, you could just kind of sense their mood or what's happening?
If I drop in to, a relationship with their energy, some people I'm, very connected with. I can always tell how my sister is feeling, and she lives next door, so I'll run over and I'll lean in the window and say, I'm sending you energy.
Yeah, exactly.
But generally people will ask for a remote session where they're not in person on a schedule. And so I'll just drop into their energy at a certain time each week. As I said, when I was having a longer commute, it was fantastic. And sometimes I don't know, this happens to people, but all of a sudden you're just thinking of somebody and their, image just pops in your head. And that's when I usually will text and say, how are you doing? And 9 times out of 10, they'll say, oh, I, just had some bad news on the physical front with an ailment, or, I just broke up with somebody. And I'll say, okay, can I send energy? Or I'll see some posts on Facebook too. And I'll just reach out and say, looks like a tough one. Can I send energy? And generally they say yes.
Oh, well, the types of energy you can send. Well, before we begin, hold on, by the way, it's redbootsreiki.com. How else can we contact you?
You can email me at redbootsreiki@gmail.com. And my phone number is on the website. And so people just call me.
Awesome. Well, before I ask any more questions, what did you have in mind for us today?
Today I wanted to talk about the energy in a room and how to manage that. Because I had a little boy and he said, you know, Mrs. Atwood, I can't see energy, but I can feel it. And it really squashes me.
How old?
He was in second grade.
Okay.
Yep. And I said, yes, yes. Energy, especially from other people, can kind of pounce on you and just kind of feel like rush hour, you know, where everybody's all like bumping up into each other, even if nobody else is in the room. You can have this leftover energy. And so when I was teaching kindergarten, I would clear the energy in the room before we started. And then I taught the children how to turn their brains around. I mean, I did not call it Reiki, but how we would clear our own energy so that we could drain out all the old and start afresh every morning.
Yeah.
And they loved it.
That's awesome.
You put your little hands up and you turn and you let all of the energy just drain out, just like a bathtub. And then you're ready for fresh learning. And
that's great that you incorporated that with them. My son's in kindergarten, and now after I broke my foot on Thursday, then it was his birthday on Friday, and then I broke my right foot. I'm not supposed to be driving. I'm driving myself to the doctor, driving myself to orthopedic. Then he's sick in school for his birthday. I have to go pick him up, let alone he has to come to my doctor. Then I got to take him to his doctor. Then he gets this thing called medicine, and he's scared of it. So it's kind of energy related. He gets all. He doesn't want to take medicine. He's scared to get, and you could see and you fear and you feel it. And then now we started doing this. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and I say, Mom, okay, let's breathe. And it's so cute. It's like he's doing like a little yoga, but it's helping him. And I see him go,
yes,
just trying to help him relieve some of that energy. I'm no energy healer, no energy, nothing, but I know breathing could help. Similar with energy. So that's what we've been doing before he does his medicine. And it was battle on Friday, Saturday, not so good. Sunday, yesterday it got better. And like this morning, just as one quick one. It's not 10.
yeah. But breath work is a huge way of regulating your energy. And I'll get my little bear here. If you think about what we call the chakras, they're the energy centers. And so you have one in between your hips, one underneath your belly button, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your what they call the third eye, and your crown chakra. And you want to make sure that they're all lined up. But when you are doing your breath work, one of the things that I have as an image is breathing in through my nose and feeling it come all the way down my lower chakras. And then, you know how wind swirls around? Just think of it gently swirling around and lifting up any cloudy, negative energies that have gotten trapped there, and then exhaling all of the energy out. And we breathe in a light color generally. It differs for every person. Mine happens to be kind of a pearlescent pink shimmery white that I breathe in. And then I can see all the little bits of negative energy that got stuck in there, just whoosh right out. And whether it was stuck energy from feeling unprepared for something, or, sometimes, I'll think of taxes and I'll get overwhelmed because I know how many things I need to upload. And I always save that for when our moon is waning, because during that phase of the moon, you are much better at checking off a checklist. When the moon is growing, that's when you gather all your tax forms. FYI, very easy to check. So you see the full moon, and after the full moon, that's when you are just incredibly good at putting your head down and just powering through a list of activities. I know.
When is the next full moon? I don't know.
The full moon was on Sunday.
So wait a second. So now how long does it take to go to the next one?
2
'Cause
weeks.
really every 2 weeks? Because they always
Yep.
say with my father, we think he might be bipolar. We don't know, but every time there's a full moon, he gets batty, wacky. I don't understand that concept as how it really affects us, the shift with that. But people, my sister lives with him and she's like, he's out of control. And then she gets a full moon. I'm like, how's that correlating? What's going on? What is he, he's cursing, he's yelling, he's screaming, everything's going wrong. And then it goes away.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's a real thing. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
we
It's a
just,
real thing. It's
okay.
a real thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And I will always video on a full moon because you look better on camera on a
Mhm.
full moon.
Okay, interesting.
Yep. Yep. You're very friendly coming into a full moon. So in my show, I call that the Fiona phase because Fiona is fun and flirty and friendly and can multitask like nobody's business. And she gets everything done. And then on the full moon, I call her Olivia.
Uh-huh.
Everything looks good on Olivia. That is when you bring your daughter clothes shopping because Olivia shines like the full moon. And then Lucy is the full moon to the new moon. And she's the one in the office who can find any mistake. If you need to edit any document, do that in your Lucy phase. And then Mandy is the new moon. And that is when you create just this loving environment around you. You can always tell who's in a Mandy phase in an office because they're the ones who water the plants. They're the ones who will notice that the toilet paper needs changing and they'll actually put it back on.
Yep.
And they are, if you're in your Mandy phase, that's when you can accessorize. And so you go shopping for everything in your Olivia phase. And then in your Mandy phase, you come home and you accessorize with what you have.
Interesting.
Yes.
Mandy. I remember Mandy.
Yep.
Not everybody knows Mandy, the clothing store. That's what I'm referring to.
Yep.
It used to be Mandy to the rescue was the commercial.
It's a Long Island one, isn't
I think
it?
we still have it. I was just going to say, I think we still have it on Long Island. I don't know. It used to be in the Center Reach Mall. And there's one in Queens in College Point, where my cousins live. I don't know if it's still
I can
around.
see the logo. I remember
Yeah.
the logo.
Is it lowercase blue?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to have to Google this.
Yep. Little did they know that they have a moon phase around them.
Wow. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it is a very real thing that your energetic blueprint shifts, especially for women. Your energetic blueprint shifts throughout the lunar, so that 28-day cycle. And when you can match up the blueprint of any activity to your energetic blueprint, you do it better.
Interesting.
So I do that. I set calendars and we draw it out, and then we map out what activities you have. And so if you have the option of scheduling, and sometimes you don't, but if I know that I'm going to be able to just power through all paperwork, those are the days that I would ask somebody else to meet the kids off the bus, because I would want to have that flexibility to stay for another half hour. Lucy does not like to be interrupted. So if you're powering through things, just make sure that it's on the waning moon and you're going to be very efficient.
Interesting. Remind us again, Miss Annie, how do we reach you?
Oh, you can reach me on www.redbootsreiki.com. And you can also find me on YouTube as Annie Baker Atwood or Red Boots Reiki. And I tell you each week what phase of the moon we're in and what it is useful for, because how you clean is different each week.
No.
Yes.
Clean like your house, like how you
Yeah,
cook?
like your house. Yeah.
I clean my house almost every day. I'm obsessed with cleaning toilet bowls. I have two little boys. They pee.
Mm.
I'm on the floor with bleach, paper towels all the time. Now you got me thinking, what changes about my cleaning habits and the
Do you
Windex?
ever find a day where you just need to do all your mirrors with Windex?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
That's a full moon.
Really?
Yeah.
I did it this weekend with a broken foot. I did the downstairs bathroom, the toilet, the mirror, the three mirrors.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Interesting.
So Fiona can be interrupted. So she's really good at I mean, and I'm saying this, I mean, of course you're going to do the cleaning that needs to get done, but Fiona's really good at changing out all the bedding because she doesn't mind, needing to stop in between an activity. Fiona's excellent at painting because you know how you paint and then you have to let it dry. Whereas Lucy is amazing for folding heaps of laundry because she just sees it as one big task that she's going to power through.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And Mandy just fluffs the pillows and makes the house, she finds that perfect accessory to put up on, perfect artwork to display. So it really is a real thing.
What do you do during the full moon?
I
More of
polish all of the silver.
so every 2 weeks. I'm learning. It's every 2 weeks, right?
The full moon's every once a month.
Okay,
And
so
you have your full moon and then your new moon.
okay. So
Yep.
it's only on the full moon.
The full moon is when you want every single thing to
Excuse
be
me, I have to
shiny.
move my leg because the
Yes.
cast it's fell on asleep. I don't have it up on the chair.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is. See ya. Okay,
Oh,
so
your pants match my socks.
oh, you got the stripies on? Yeah. I have my pajama pants on today. I can't. I
Yep,
mean, I can't.
it's
I
my
can't.
socks.
Oh my gosh. That says something. We're on in
That
tune.
does.
Energy
We are in
connected. My
tune.
candy can stripe pants.
And my candy striped socks.
So cute. Thank you for sharing. Oh my gosh.
And the moon cycle has less to do with Reiki, but
Okay.
it is something that fascinates me because as an athlete, I noticed that I performed differently. So I don't run anymore,
Mhm.
but when I was training for marathons, I would notice that some weeks I was just faster. And then some weeks I could run longer.
Mhm.
So the faster was Fiona. I'm sorry. Yes, the faster was Fiona because she's fit and fierce. Like I would nail my miles. And then during Lucy, I could run forever. I
Wow.
would get to mile 10 and be all, let's keep going. And so when I could have my and I mean, you would do a long run every weekend. Well, I was running on the weekend.
Mhm.
And so I would scale up during my Lucy phase and then instinctively my Mandy phase, which also correlates with your menstrual week.
Oh gosh.
I would take it easy. And those were my shorter long runs.
I mean, so we talk like, do the Olympics know about this? Like, do we have the Olympics like when it's the prime time?
Well, you know what? I asked my daughter about it, and she said that as Olympic athletes, they could not afford to follow anything.
Okay.
And so they zeroed out their cycles
Oh wow.
so that they would always be at, the Olivia optimal. When you're Olivia, you win. And so they actually would not have the girls cycle.
Mhm.
And I did ask.
Wow. That's awesome. It just hit me. I'm like, if that's the case, yeah, then wow.
But think about if you are the coach of a team,
Mhm.
and I mean, I know that you can't ask. I understand that. But you're probably going to notice oh, wow. During practice in that game, that girl was absolutely on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And just know that 2 weeks later, she's probably going to be one of your best defenses in field hockey that you have ever had.
Wow.
Mandy doesn't want to run, but nothing gets by her. Nothing gets by her. Whereas, Fiona, she's fast, man. She's your left wing, and she's feeding everything to Olivia, who is going to score every single goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Lucy, who can run forever. So she's your midfielder because they do a lot of running.
Wow.
I played field hockey for a long time, not in college.
I was going to say, that's the sport. Okay, good.
That was the sport. That was the one that I felt the most comfortable in explaining it.
Got it. Interesting.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
you can plan for it.
My
noticed it in Pilates as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. 2 weeks, because I did Pilates once a week. And so
Okay.
2 of my sessions, I could increase strength. And then 2 of my sessions, I could increase flexibility.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mind over matter. All right.
I know.
How else can we improve upon ourselves?
Or just have an awareness of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some weeks during your Fiona phase, you can write volumes and volumes and volumes. And then during your Lucy phase, you edit everything.
Okay.
But if you've ever tried to write volumes and you're in an editing mindset, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
And so during my Fiona phase, I will plan out all of what I want to say on radio and on camera. And then during Lucy phase, I video my 4 sessions, and then every week I can just say, off you go, off you go, off you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And so anybody who needs me to sit with them and create their calendar, I'm more than happy to do that. Just call me.
Now, can energy healing help couples in a sense with
It can help
relationships, align two people that may not be on the same page?
You would go with the heart chakra and just strengthen up both of their heart chakras, and then kind of create I would think of it as a bubble, but add Reiki to their energetic space that they share together. And that can be between a parent and child, between 2 siblings. It doesn't have to be, when I say relationship, it's any human interaction. Or I Reiki my cat all the time.
Really?
Because, oh yeah.
That's right. Animals as well, you said. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And
it is so much fun playing with energy.
You can Reiki your food too, right?
Yes. Yep.
See? I learned that only a few months ago.
Yep. You can Reiki your environment, your food, and if you think about everybody who was raised with saying grace or saying a prayer over their food, it's the same idea. When you are asking your food to provide the absolute best energy for you, a physical energy.
Interesting. There's a lot that I'm learning. I learned about the moons today, the full moon and the whole cycles. I really didn't know anything about that. And you're not an astrologer.
I do follow astrology, but this was a theory that I've been developing over the last probably 8 years.
Oh, did you just see that Reiki energy just affect my camera?
It did.
Did you see that?
I did.
That's creepy, but in a good way.
Yes.
Wow. What did you do?
Bring it.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So I have a meeting in 2 minutes that I'm going
let's wrap
to...
it up then, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Please remind us how we can reach out to you.
So come visit my website, www.redbootsreiki.com. Give me a call. The phone number is right on there. Text me. There is a way that you can book, it says book now. You can push that button and just let me know how I can share energy with you and strengthen you so that you are at your sparkly best.
Thank you so much for raising my energy, raising my bar today. I've been a little low the past 2 days, so I appreciate that. Thank you. And again, it's redbootsreiki.com. Okay.
Yes. So enjoy. Happy Reiki, everybody.
Thank you. Same to you. Have a fantastic day. And of course, we'll look forward to next week. Have a great day. Thank you.
Perfect. You too. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.